Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back to our mentoring recovery support group. Today, I'm going to bring you some information dealing with recovery. My name is Craig. I am in recovery myself. And so today I'm bringing you an article by rehabrecovery.co.uk. All right. And so you can go online and retrieve this article. And today's title is the importance of peer support in addiction recovery, right? The importance of peer support in addiction recovery. A lot of times we talk about recovery, which is so vital to this type of setting, is because a lot of times when we're talking about mentoring, there are so many people who may be forgotten about or who may feel that they don't need to be mentored or they don't need to mentor others. And so we want to dispel that myth because in one shape, form, or fashion, we can help someone as long as we're living a healthier lifestyle. And so that's one of the reasons why we're here to share information dealing with recovery. All right. And so the article starts off by stating the treatment of addiction is a long and difficult process, right? It says rehab programs employ a range of methods to try and help individuals kick their physical craving and alter their traumatic perception of substance abuse. And it can take months or years before they achieve stable and long-lasting sobriety. A key part of addiction recovery is that has a huge impact on the success rate of an individual rehab is peer support. All right. Let me read that again. It says a key part of addiction recovery that has a huge impact on the success rate of an individual's rehab is peer support, a technique known for its ability to aid both physical and psychological progress and give individuals a sense of hope and belonging, right? So that's why it's so important peer to peer to help one another become better today, tomorrow, and moving forward. Because a lot of times there are people, especially men, who may be coming out of a maladaptive lifestyle, who may have low coping skills, who may have low emotional intelligence, and so things of that nature. So therefore, it's important that we help people improve upon those aspects of life skills so that they can be able to function and move successfully in society and their homes, on the jobs, wherever institution that they engage in. All right. And so, first topic of discussion is what is peer support? Peer support is when individuals who have been through addiction recovery and have achieved profound breakthroughs in sobriety and physical health return to a rehab facility to offer guidance and support to those beginning or currently working through their own recovery journey. See, this is what I'm making mention of or talking about. Whereas when a person get healthy, we're able to give back. It says person able to return to a rehab facility, right, and offer guidance and support to those beginning or currently working through their own recovery journey. The goal of this is to allow individuals going through addiction recovery to benefit from the advice and insights of the returning peer supporter, and for these meetings to complement the detoxification and therapy they are already undergoing. Peer support usually takes place within a group, allowing one or several returning individuals to speak to a group of current rehab occupants. And one-on-one conversation can also be arranged for personalized advice and support. All right. So that's one of the things that's very important that we as peer, I am a certified peer recovery specialist. And so one of the things is to be able to help people gain their recovery capital. All right. And so that is peer-to-peer based. This is peer-to-peer based so that, a non-judgmental zone to be able to share information and also help people from going down the pathways that I may have took or preventing them falling into any traps that may lead them to trigger them up or due to their cravings or urges. All right. So the next topic of discussion we want to talk about is what are the benefits of peer support? What are the benefits of peer support? This article says while the majority of addiction recovery is handled by medical professionals and therapists who monitor and support individuals through their bodily and mentally adjustments to life without substance abuse, there are unique benefits to peer support. Research suggests that it helps individuals overcome substance abuse by enhancing their engagement with treatment. And this is achieved in several ways. All right. And so it's very interesting to know. Not only do people who go through treatment, addiction recovery, they also receive help through the medical professionals who help them and therapists who help them monitor them during the detoxification and the therapy phase. All right. And so let's see what aspects are some of the benefits. Seeing the benefits of rehab. The first and probably greatest asset of peer support is that it allows individuals to see the benefits of addiction recovery. While medical professionals clearly communicate the benefits of detox and therapy throughout addiction recovery, it is ultimately difficult for individuals to understand how these methods can possibly improve their situation. Their addiction pushes them to occupy a desperate and pessimistic state of mind. So it is all but impossible for them to see how the future can look better. When a peer supporter speaks to them, however, this can be overcome because these recovered individuals can claim to have been in the same position of hopelessness and pain. They can attest to the benefits of rehab by speaking about their experiences, triumphs, and overall improved quality of life. They can show recovering addicts a clear path forward and offer them hope. So that's all. That's one of the benefits of having a peer supporter, speaking to people, helping people. And so that's why mentoring is so important, because a lot of times people may feel that they can never overcome the state of addiction. They may be in a fixed mind state, whereas they may say, well, it is what it is, and remain in those thinking. And so our goal is to transform that fixed mindset into a growth mindset, whereas one will look at their situation and believe that, yes, I may have started out this way, but I'm making strides towards my growth and development. All right. And so another benefit, all right, we want to look at, and that is advice and personal experience. Speaking to an individual who has personally been through addiction recovery also offers a richer quality of advice and support compared to that offered by medical professionals. When doctors and therapists offer techniques and advice for how individuals can better handle their cravings or thought processes, there can sometimes be doubt on the side of the person receiving it. While their advice will be helpful and ultimately backed by knowledge and medical experience, in the back of their minds, they can be skeptical about the effectiveness of the advice. Do these techniques work? Has this professional ever used them in real life? Is it not that they do not trust the doctor, but the practicality and success rate other information can be called into question, right? And so a lot of times I've been in group settings. I would come out of a therapeutic community where treatment that help people with overcome addiction from alcohol and drugs, and also address some of the coping mechanism or that deals with the cognitive aspect of one's behavior as well. And so I've heard people say, "How would you be able to tell me? How would you be able to assist me in this process when you never used drugs before?" And so, but me myself, as they always tell us, to always keep the focus on yourself, the I concept. And so I will always look at it from, uh, the information is solid. As long as the information is solid, it's up to me to apply. It's oftentimes a saying goes, uh, theory without application is useless. And so if someone don't take the information and don't apply it or utilize it, then what good is it? So you can't blame the person who applying the information for you not utilizing it. They're doing their part, so it's up to us who are in recovery to do our part. All right. And so it says, but when someone who has been through rehab and achieved sobriety comes back to offer tips that have worked for them, there is a greater sense of trust in that advice. All right. That's why they call it peer, because a lot of times we can relate. We may not have the same identical situation, but there may, just by us sharing our story, there are oftentimes a lot of similarities. And so the advice, you'll know when a person is being genuine and sincere, because you can detect whether or not the information is sound. Individuals will be more likely to put them to the test, and ultimately they will work because they can see the result firsthand. All right. So let's talk about another topic of discussion dealing with. So we are still talking about the importance of peer support and addiction recovery. This is very important. But now we want to go into a topic of discussion is community and belonging. Okay, community and belonging, because this is solid and this is sound. Because a lot of times people come out of early recovery, we oftentimes return back to our familiar communities. A lot of us are not fortunate enough to remove ourselves from the same community that we just left from or try to get away from. And so a lot of times we have to be mindful that when we go back to our communities, there are certain things that still is in place, but we have to keep on working on us while we in these communities. So let's see what the article says about community and belonging. By speaking to individuals currently going through addiction recovery, a peer supporter can provide them with a sense of community that up to that point they may not yet experience. All right. So that is very vital. I don't want to put my plug in and let the article speak for itself. It says, when the individual is battling with substance abuse, it can seem like a lonely and unique situation that only applies to them, right? They may believe that no one in the world is going through what they are, and that they are isolated from the rest of the world by their thoughts, feelings, and impulses. This can be a detriment to progress and lower an individual confidence and self-esteem. But peer support can flip this on its head and change an individual perception. Addressing a group of individuals and sharing the experiences of addiction recovery, a peer supporter can provide individuals with someone to identify with, showing them that they are not alone. Peer supporters can also spark conversations and connections to happen within the group itself, showing occupants of rehab that they all share thoughts, fears, and aspirations. This can promote a sense of belonging, making an individual feel closer as a group of people. Not only will this benefit their self-esteem and overall worldview, but it will give them a greater sense of self-worth and motivation. All right. And so that is one of the reasons why I don't mind sharing my story. If I can help someone overcome any barriers or any obstacles that they're facing by distrusting someone in the medical professional field, and if I can give some support, let them know that the information is sound, the information is solid. It's up to us to utilize it and apply it and just keep on working and building on ourselves, whether it be individually or collectively. And just knowing that we first have to invest in ourselves and believe that we can achieve greatness as long as we do the work. All right. Let's go on to another topic of discussion. Okay. We just got to talk about community and belonging. All right. And so thank you for that thumbs up. Mutual responsibility. All right. We want to talk about the mutual responsibility. In addition to this sense of belonging, this new group dynamic can also provide individuals with a richer purpose when it comes to getting better and beating addiction. It can push them to do it not just for themselves, but for the people around them as well. When a peer supporter comes to a rehab program and unites a group of individuals in the sense noted above, it connects them. They learn about one another's challenges and motivations, and they begin to develop a vested interest in one another's progress. As this happens, peer supporters often decide to make individuals aware that they have a mutual responsibility to one another. By becoming friends and investing in one another, they owe it to the rest of the group to each maintain their individual progress, resist relapse, and beat addiction. That's so inspiring to be able to help someone achieve such great heights, especially when we have did a lot of damage, not only to ourselves, but to our families and to those in the community. And so to be able to help someone heal from that and be able to show people that that the decision that was made wasn't made in the right state of mind, and that now that they're I want to say healed or they are doing well, now they can make more better decision making and be able to amend a lot of hurt that they may have caused. All right. The article goes on to say, before they know it, the group is encouraging one another to stay strong in the knowledge that every person's success is essential for the overall success of the group. All right. And so we are in this together. We're not doing it in an isolated vacuum. We are doing this in a whole, in a way that everyone, as long as we get involved and do the real work, we can get the job done. All right. And so the next topic of discussion, and that is challenging denial. Challenging denial. Wow. And I told you before, as I was speaking earlier, that I come from therapeutic recovery community, and one of the things they stress oftentimes is to keep the focus on yourself. Because once we begin to shift blame and name calling and placing our behavior on others, then we'll never really face it, our situation or our addiction head on. So it's always take responsibility for what I have done. The article says challenging denial. In contrast to the above points, the benefits of peer support are not all necessarily supportive and kind. There are also critical impacts it can have, which, while sometimes confrontational, are ultimately helpful in the rehab process. For many, facing addiction can be an incredible difficult reality to accept. In response to the negative implication it has on their body, mind, and social life, they can easily fall into the defensive state of denial, ignoring their unhealthy routine, denying the presence of a problem, and resisting the concerns of others. Ultimately, this can prove problematic to addiction recovery. If an individual has entered rehab without the right frame of mind, they can fail to properly engage with treatment, fall victims to cravings, and not give addiction recovery there, right? With peer support, however, this can be put to an end. Not only can a returning individual spot denial and call it out, but they can make clear to the individual that while it might seem like a good option, ignoring their condition will only make things worse. So by ignoring that I am the problem, and that it started with someone else, in all actuality, we got to continue to say, okay, it started with me. And so now allow me to address that which began with me. And so with that in mind, we have to find better coping skills, better coping mechanism, use better tools to be able to heal from old wounds. And so a lot of times there's a lot of underlying issues that may have never been addressed, and so or maybe never been talked about or confronted. And so we need to do this not only as just a from peer perspective, because we don't want to dispel the professional help that's out there that we do need to embrace as well. And so it works hand in hand, peer support and the professional people as well, because a lot of times when we try to do these homemade remedies, back in the day when I was coming out, I'm a little older, and so they had what they used to do, try to quit cold turkey, that type of method. Do it this way, run water, and do all this and that. And so we have evolved from from information to technology, and to a lot of studies that has been evidence-based. And so that is key. And so as long as we are getting the information that has been studied and proven to be successful, then we have a greater chance to be successful ourselves. All right, and so I believe this is the last topic of discussion for the day, and this is helping the next person. Given this financial benefit of peer support, it is important to consider what qualifies an individual to attend rehab and offer advice to those going through addiction recovery. Good question. Let me read that again. How do people qualify for peer support? So the article says, given this final benefit of peer support, it is important to consider what qualifies an individual to attend rehab and offer advice to those going through addiction recovery. In order to qualify as a peer supporter, an individual must have gone through a successful rehab process, usually at the same century they are looking to return to. Be currently living without substance abuse or overwhelming cravings, and have been practicing such a degree of control over their addiction for at least 1 year. Of course, the specific standard each rehab century has for its peer supporters will be different, but the fundamental requirements largely relate to an individual's own sobriety. And so a lot of times if you was to work as or want to become a peer supporter, a lot of times most agencies want you to have 1 year of sobriety. Some may require more. Some uh, some may want you to prove that you actually went through the process and that you have some type of certificate or certification, things of that nature. And so it's very important that we continue to do what's right. And a lot of times we are faced with situational relapses. We may find ourselves being around people, places, and things. We may find ourselves isolated. Okay, and so a lot of times boredom may set in if we're not surrounded with positive people, whether it be friends or family members who are encouraging us. If we're not getting involved with sponsors, coaches, therapists, counselors, if we're not reading uh, self-improvement material, having these self-affirmation, uh, and being appreciative of where we came from and what we are doing currently and what we intend to do by not only helping ourselves but helping someone else. And so these things we must keep focus of and always, and this is one of my favorite, is to always do an self-inventory, do a self-evaluation of yourself. I like to say, each day I like to look at myself. What can I do today that I did? What can I do better today than I did yesterday? Okay. And so every day must be a day of improvement. And so positive uh, reinforcements or self reinforcement, that's a very unique tool. Also, breathing exercise, finding a hobby. If you like to journal, if you like to read, uh, nutrition or get sleep, all these mechanisms, all these tools that we can apply to ourselves so that we can stay uh, on top of our sobriety. Take those take the information that you may have received, whether you went through rehab, whether it was short term, long term. I'm not the one to say what pathway that you should take. I just know the pathway that I took. It works, and so for that, until the next time, we are here every Thursday at 3 p.m. We would like to have and share some information that can be self-sustaining. All right, and especially if you during the holidays, during the weekend, you may find yourself where there's people who may have birthday parties, weddings, things like that, or events, and you may find yourself being challenged with your sobriety. So just be mindful. Always have an exit plan. Always have an exit plan. Always have a contact person if you find yourself not being able to fight the urges or the cravings, or if there are any triggers may arrive. One of the things we learn is to tell on it. All right, tell on it. Let somebody know what thoughts you are having, what feelings that you may be experiencing, and also celebrate the small victories. Don't wait till you get all the way to 12 months and then you say, "Oh, I want to celebrate." No, whatever the small victory, whatever that looks like for you, continue to do that. All right. And so that's enough for me for this week. Until the next week, stay safe and love on one another. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.